Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got a fun one for you today. We're working with the Divi 5 theme again. We've got a little module here. It's a little Divi blur module. And when I click on the more info, it's going to toggle into a call to action module that has a little button, or if they don't want to click on the button, they can close it out, go back to the little blur module again. Of course, you can use any modules you like. In fact, anywhere that I click on this one, it's going to take us to that call to action and they can close it out right there. No coding involved in this today. We're using the fantastic new interactions from Divi 5. So let's get started. I've got this page open over here. Okay, and what I've got, let's flip to wireframe mode and you can see what I've got going on. I've got a single row here with two columns in my particular row. So let's just add one on the right hand side here. Again, I'm going to start off with a blur module. Like I say, you can use any modules you want for this. I'm going to leave the default in there. I'm just going to shave off a bit of this text and add a sort of ... more info or whatever you want to put on yours. I'm going to do mine in capitals. I'm actually going to make that a different color from the rest of the text by selecting it. Going up to that little A up there. Let's make it a crazy color that's going to stand out. I'll make it that aqua. I think that's what I used over here. Okay, well, I'm going to use an icon instead of an image. I'm going to flip the little switch here. And let's just use one of these. Great. Not going to link anything on this particular blur module. Background, let's make it a little bit more interesting. I'm going to throw an image in the back. Throw in one of these crazy cars, perhaps. But I want to be able to still read that writing, so I'm going to blend it with a color or a gradient. Let's just go for a color. Add a background color. I'm going to use the default light blue there just to save a bit of time. But I want to take the opacity down a bit. So I'm just going to click on it. Perhaps take it down to about 50%. Maybe too much. If we go back to our image now, we can roll down a little bit and blend it with that color. I'm going to multiply. And I think we may want to take it down a little bit more. So I'm going to turn that whiting right. Or I should say bring it up a little bit more. Let's take it up to about 80%. I think that'll do nicely. Perfect. Now, if I go over to my design tab, the icon, I'm going to make it white in color. I'm going to make it a lot smaller. Let's perhaps make it 50 pixels. Obviously, this is all up to you how you design yours. I'm just going to roll down below to the text. You can do the title separately in body if you want to. I'm just going to flip mine from dark to light. Great. Well, let's roll down a little bit more to our spacing. We'll give this a bit of padding left and right. I think I'm going to use a percentage. So I'm going to click on the left there. I'm going to say 10 and the percent sign there. Or you can select percent over here if you want to. I want it to be the same on both sides. So I'm going to hit the little chain to make it the same. Top and bottom, I'll give it a bit of padding. I am going to give this a fixed height in a minute so it negates the bottom padding a little bit. But let's just go on the top and let's perhaps give it, we'll try 8%. Again, you can either type the percentage in or select it there. That's okay. It looks similar to what I did next door. I want to try and keep it fairly similar. Great. So we got our little blur module there. But I actually want to give this a fixed height. I'm going to use the same height that I used on our one next door here. So still in design, I can close out spacing. And I'm going to go into sizing. I'm going to roll down to height there. On desktop, I think I use 300 pixels. That's about right. Now we will need to adjust it for tablet and mobile if it's going to work correctly. On tablet, I think I use about 450 because it stretches out quite a bit. So let's go for 450. And then on mobile, I think we'll go back to 400. Just want to make sure that you get all your content in on all devices and it's not squashing up. That looks great. Let's go back to our desktop version now. Okay, how are we going to add the module? We need to add the module now that we're going to flip between. And again, I'll use a call to action. Again, you can use whatever module you want. So I'm going to hit the little plus, add a new module. I'm going to use a call to action module. And it's added it just below here. Now what I want this module to be exactly the same height as this module here, and I don't want any gap there. So first things first, let's get rid of this gap. To do that, that's in the column that these are sitting in. So if we go back to our row, we've got two columns. This is column 1. We're working on column 2 here. Just go in there. We can go over Design Layout. Flex will be selected by default. To get rid of the gap, we can just go down to vertical gap there, put a 0 in. Boom, gone. Perfect. Now what we can do, we can go back into our call to action. First thing we want is a button. Obviously, you want to put in whatever text and things you want in there. Before the button's going to show up, you have to go down to link just below the text under content there. Put your link URL in where you want to take your people. Once you do that, it's going to show up. Obviously, you can style this thing however you wish. Now, height-wise, it looks about right, but we want to match it exactly to this one here. So let's go over to our design and our sizing. And we'll go down height-wise. In the regular height module there, we use 300 on desktop. Perfect. Just a little bit deep it was there. Then we're on tablet, we use 450. And on mobile, we use 400. Great. So we've matched their height on both devices here. So how are we going to make this work? Well, I'm going to show you a little trick that I've used on a lot of my hover effects. Have a look at my hover effects playlist when we were doing them with Divi 4. I'm going to use a bit of negative margin. So in the call to action module itself, still in design, I'm going to close up our sizing there and go to spacing down underneath. I'm going to use some negative margin to pull it on top of our blurb module here. Now we know that's 300 pixels on desktop. So if I crank it down to -1 and put negative 300 in there, it's sitting on top. And of course we want to adjust on the tablet and mobile. We'll need negative 450 on tablet. And we need negative 400 on mobile. Fantastic. Great, well let's add the interactions. So let's think about this. Initially, we don't want to see the call to action at all on any devices. We just want to see the blurb module. So while we're in the call to action, let's go over to advanced and visibility. We can hide it. Let's disable it on phone, tablet and desktop. See, it grays it out there when we do that. Now then, what we need to do is go into our blurb module and add an interaction to bring it back. So let's go into wireframe mode where we can still see everything we've got there. Here's our blurb. Here's our call to action. Let's give these some admin labels so we can pick them out when we add the interactions. So in the content right at the bottom, you'll see admin label. And if you're not sure what I'm doing, it'll make sense in a minute. I will call this BL2 for blurb 2. Our call to action, funnily enough, I'm going to go down under content, admin label. I'm going to call it CTA2. That way we should be able to identify it. Now you may notice I've got an icon on this one. I haven't put on this one. It's because we need something to close down the call to action. It's all very well flipping from the blurb to the call to action. If they click on the button, it'll take them somewhere. But if they don't want to click on the button, they want to be able to close it and perhaps go back to the blurb. So that's where the icon comes in. So if I flip back here, let's add a new module. Little icon right here. There's the icon module. I'm going to use a simple closing icon. Choose whichever one you want. Not going to put a link in there. Going to go over to my design now. Icon column itself, I'm going to make it white. It's going to disappear into the background there. I know the size I want. 25 pixels. I think that's what I use there. Always adjust it if it's wrong. Now right now it's sitting under here and it's invisible because it's white on white. I want it up over here somewhere. So to achieve that, we need to go to advanced. Still in the icon, remember. We're going to go down to position. I'm going to flip it from default to absolute. It puts it on the top left there. I want mine on the top right. And I want mine down and in a bit, perhaps a little bit like ours over there. To do that, we've got vertical and horizontal offset. I'm going to use 15 on both. Now, if you have trouble and that's sitting behind one of your elements here, you can put a high number in the Z index, just check a couple 9s in there. and it should pull it on top. What the z-index does, it dictates what elements sit on top of others. So anything with a high z-index will sit on top of anything with a lower number. For instance, if this has a z-index of 10 and this icon has a z-index of 11 or higher, it will sit on top of it always. But I think we were okay. Just wanted to show you how to do that in case you needed it. Great, so we've got all our elements in place. So we know our call to action is going to be invisible when they load the page. It's, faded out here. But we want to be able to bring it back when they either click on more info or basically anywhere on the blurb. So let's go back into our blurb. As we've used a bit of negative margin, might need to go to wireframe up here to get to it. Here it is right here, BL2. Once you're in there, you can flip back. You're going to go over to Advanced, and this is where you'll find the new Interactions tab. If you click on it, we can add an interaction. What are we going to do? Well, when I click anywhere on our blurb module that we're sitting here, I want it to toggle the visibility of our call to action because it's hidden at the moment. We've hidden it on all devices. So if I click, it's going to make it visible. Which module? CTA2. There we are. And that's that admin label I told you. Got blurb 2 and CTA2. It makes it much easier to find because we've got the whole page tree. And if you've got a lot going on your page, it may be difficult to find these modules. So here we are. One we want to affect is call to action 2. Fantastic. So let's save that. Now initially I don't want to see this little icon, so we really need to make that invisible too. If I click on my icon and just get to it there, we'll do the same thing. I'm going to go over to visibility and make sure it's invisible on all devices initially when the page loads. Great. So when we click on our little blur module, we also need to make that icon invisible. So if we go back now to our blur module and add another interaction over in Advanced Interactions, I can copy this one because it's exactly the same thing. When we click, we want to toggle the visibility, but not of the call to action of our little icon, which is just under the call to action. I could have given that an admin label to make it easier. But then we've actually got to add some interactions to our icon here. A, so it'll close the call to action, and B, so it'll close itself also. So now I've clicked on the icon. Let's just flip back to desktop, more interesting to look at. We can add an interaction over in Advanced Interactions. First one, we want to close on click. We want to be able to toggle the visibility of our call to action. CTA2, fantastic. And the other thing, we want to toggle the visibility of itself as well. So again, I can just copy this one. I can go in there, or I can just change that from the call to action to the icon that we put just underneath it. We'll save that. Perfect. Well, let's have a look on the front end. If we've done everything correctly, this should work. Let's save draft. We'll close that out. We'll open a new preview. So we've got our little blurb module initially with our title, little icon and some info there. When we click on the more info, it's going to bring up the call to action. They can either click on the button if they read the title and info, or if they don't like it, they can click on the icon. And both the icon and call to action will disappear. Now I know I clicked on the more info there. I know it's a different color, but it is actually anywhere that we click on here is going to bring up that call to action. And that's a really neat little trick. We've done that before with JavaScript and things like that. But it's really handy being able to do it with a new interactions feature with no coding whatsoever. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and WebDesignerTechTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.